Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to explain how you can build a speed set in Dragonflight. And this is something that I think is very useful whether you are farming, for instance, mounts inside of dungeons and raids, whether you're doing gold farms inside of dungeons, raids, or any other areas where you need to run with your character and you cannot do it with your flying mount. And in general, this is something that can really help you complete a lot of different activities in the game way faster. So the main thing that you will need is of course to buy some of the different pieces of gear from Dragonflight that have some speed buff on them. So as you can see, for instance, right now with my normal set, I'm at 9% of speed. And when I equip my speed set, I'm at 37% of speed. So it means that I will be able to be way faster when doing all these different farms. So as you can see, all the different pieces of gear that I have some speed on it, including also the trinkets. And this is really how you can improve your speed by a lot. So now, when it comes to how you can find these different pieces of gear, all you want to do is to go on your realm. And I would say that if you really want to do it for not a high cost, you should go on a hyper realm in order to find a lot of these different cheap BoE items. So here, for instance, let's go and let's start with cloth items. Because one thing that is important to note is the fact that you can use any of the different items you can actually equip. So for instance, on the druid, I can use leather or cloth items, and they will still add the speed to my character. So if you're playing on a warrior, for instance, you can literally use cloth, leather, mail, or plate items in order to get all these different speed buffs. So here, as you can see, I'm gonna go where there is a lot of different items up, simply because this is probably where I will be able to find some of the cheapest items with speed on them. Most of the time, you will have some of these items on top, and these are the ones that people simply flip because they know that people are looking for these different speed items. And so they will buy them at a cheap cost and try to resell them for a higher cost. So you can definitely find normally a lot of them. And as you can see, they will always be a little bit more expensive. But then here, as you can see, there is 139 of these items. So you can just scroll down and hopefully at some point you will be able to find some of these different items with some speed on them. So here, as you can see, for now, I don't see. And here, for instance, I have one for 593 gold. So as you can see, you can simply buy it. And like that, you will then be able to equip it and to gain a lot of different speed. So then you really want to do that with all the different items. And again, keep in mind, you can do it with all the different high level items from Dragonflight. So even, for instance, the 376, the 412, all these different items. But the best ones are probably going to be the ones from the Emerald Dreams, simply because they're the ones that are the cheapest at the moment and in the highest quantity on the auction house. And again, you can go in the different clothes or also, for instance, in the different leather items in order to find some of these different cheap speed items. But keep in mind, again, in many cases, there are people who are scrolling down the entire day to find some of these different speed items, and then they will put them at a higher cost. So as you can see, for instance, here, for this one, you will only be able to get them for 4,000 gold minimum. That's why I would highly encourage you to try and find them yourself without having to pay too much in order to build these speed sets. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you can do that with really any pieces of gear. So all the different, for instance, necklaces, rings, cloaks, and also trinkets. So just go here. And as you can see, for instance, there are tons and tons of these different trinkets available. So here, for instance, you will have some already for 1,500 gold, but I'm sure by just going and scrolling down, you will probably find other ones that will be available for maybe 100 gold or something like that. And keep in mind, again, you don't really need to have anything super good for your character, because if you're doing some of these different runs, most likely you don't care about your eye level or the damage that you will get from your gear. The only thing that matters is how fast you can do these different farms. So when you're done with all the different pieces of gear, you can go in the Item Enchantments, and here you will also be able to buy two things in order to be even faster. And as you can see, you will have first the enchant for your wrist. It will increase your speed by 200. So this is something that is really good. And also for your cloak, and it will increase your speed by 125. and also reduce the cooldown for your Earthstone by 5 minutes when you're in the Dragon House. So here, for instance, when you apply them, as you can see, you will be even faster. So right now I'm at 37% because I have all these on my character, but you can be even faster if you get some of the new BOEs, which will have even more speed on them. Finally, the last thing that you really want to have with you at any time are, of course, the different food buffs that can allow you to be even faster. So here, for instance, I would recommend you to get some of the different fried bonefish. And as you can see, each time you kill an enemy, and it doesn't have to be an enemy that will grant you experience or honor, anything like that, you will receive a short speed buff for 5 seconds. And then this is really something that, again, will help you a lot when you're doing all these different indoors farms. So I would really recommend you to do this because, again, this is very, very useful whether you're farming mounts, items, transmogs, or gold. And this is something that right now is pretty easy to do simply because there are tons of these different green and blue BOEs up on the auction house. And normally you will be able very easily, especially if you're playing on a hyper realm, to find all of them and build the entire set probably for less than 10k gold. And so after that, you will be able to do all these different farms way, way faster. If you're playing on a low pop realm or a medium pop realm and sadly you don't have a lot of these different items up, again, I would highly recommend you to try and go on a high pop realm in order to build your entire set. So what you can do is simply either ask a friend to transfer the gold on one of these different hyper realms. You can easily just create a character, go in any of the major capitals, and then ask your friends to transfer back the money to you on this new realm. And when you're there, you just want to buy all the different items you need, then trade back all the different items to this same friend, and then you want to login back on your main character on your low pop or medium pop realm and ask your friend to trade again all these different items to you. And like that, you should be able to still get a really good speed set without having to pay maybe 100,000 gold on your low pop or medium pop realm. And of course, if you have two accounts, you can do that very easily by simply adding /inv and then the name of your character. So for instance, here, Throne Trogferot. And then like that, if you have your other character logged in, you will be able to join the group and then do this transfer directly by yourself. The last thing that I want to mention is, of course, the fact that, as you've seen, this is also a really good goal making opportunity. So what you want to do is really once or twice per day, just go on your realm and you want to scroll down the entire list of all the different items that are being posted. And if you find any that are cheap and that have a speed buff on them, you can simply purchase them and then sell them back for a way better price. And trust me, they will sell. I know some people have been able to make millions of gold by doing this simple technique, and this is something that you can do really, really easily. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you will be able to build yourself a really nice speed set, and if you also want to make some gold, hopefully you will be able to make quite a lot of gold with this technique. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!